Hello, everybody, and welcome to Expansion Network. First of all, I have to say that welcome everybody to chapter episode number 107. You will read that my voice is maybe not as enthusiastic as it typically is because I'm not enthusiastic about show number 107. Actually, just the contrary, because we have a very special announcement to make today. It's just that my voice is just has been suffering a little bit in the last few days, and I have to keep it, a little bit like relaxed. But anyway, as you know, great to have you all here in our show in the number 107 show of the Ask Julius Show. And actually, as you know, I typically start saying, welcome to Expansion Network. The reason why I didn't say that today is because our rebranding. Rebranding. What does that mean? That we will be following the exact same mission because it's accelerating the consciousness of humanity. We'll never change that, and we really help. We really thank you for allowing us to do that every single day, and for helping us in every single one of our the Ask Julius show, many other shows that we've done with you in many different continents and languages. But we have to change the name. The name of the new network is actually going to be disclosed by Kasey Speer. Hi, Kasey. Great to have you again here. We are so blessed to have you as usual.
Thank you. I want to do a shout back out at Angel. He is joining us from Spain, and it is the middle of the night there for him. His unfaltering dedication to all of you, this audience and this show. He certainly could have shot me a text and told me he couldn't make the show tonight, but he just doesn't do that. So everybody sending great energy over in Spain. Actually, Angel, I think we all should come join you in Spain, right? It is so beautiful there, right? I think that really should be what we're doing. But yeah, we're moving into the Awakening Network. We have created many changes here at Channeling Julius over the last year and a half, and we are finishing up those changes and those shifts by rebranding this network, shifting the energy of it for many reasons, but mostly, Masters, it's all about expansion, growth, opportunity, extraordinary, clearing old stagnant energy out, opening up the field of extraordinary energy. And all of you are why. You are why we are doing this. Okay. We have been so blessed by all of you as a supportive audience to this network. Your energy is so extraordinary, so uplifting, and it just called for a shift, called for some change. So we're really excited here, really excited here. Everything remains the same as far as your contact for your questions. Obviously, we're still holding all of our social media presence for all of you, but you're just going to see that shift of name. We'll have that up ready for you soon because of Angel's uh, situation of going to Spain and a couple of other shifts. We weren't quite ready to show all of that for you guys tonight, but it will be up. And we are sending our appreciation to all of you and hope you can find it in your heart to share your enthusiasm with us as we continue to find our momentum forward for all of you.
Absolutely, and thank you for saying that, Casey. And again, welcome everybody here. Thank you for being with us in this 107th show. And as usual, obviously, Casey is going to be channeling Julius, and thanks to your questions, we will be keep on accelerating the consciousness of humanity. So I'm going to go to my corner here. I become small, and we leave. Casey, the big screen. And we have our first question that comes from Karen Tackett. Yesterday, her granddaughter ended up in ER with two fractures under her left knee. She wonders why these things keep happening once she sets her goals. Is it nefarious or is it for her? Thank you.
Well, what we can tell you, Master, is anything for your lower region of your body has to do with stability and foundation in your life. Stability, safety, and foundation in your life. Now, when these things show up later in life, whatever you deem to be later in life, it oftentimes can be coming from childhood issues. So this could be instability in the home. This could be pain and trauma from your childhood, your youth. It is a form of not getting or receiving the full emotional enrichment in your life, in your youth, from probably the primary caregivers or at least somebody that you reached, for authority. If it is happening on the right side, it has to do with male energy in your life, lack of support, lack of security, lack of safety from male energy in your life. If it's showing up on the left side, that's feminine energy. That's going to be from the female aspect in your life. Now, when these things come to collapse, as you have just talked about, it means, Master, that you are ready to deal with these foundational issues for yourself. It's a call of attention for your conscious journey to finally deal with these issues. So keep in mind that when you are an embodied being, there is no previous or next for you. Everything is concurrent, including timelines and lifetimes. We know that's a challenge to wrap your head around, but it is a truth. And humanoids, or when you embody yourself as human, you leave, quote unquote, behind a lot of emotional issues when you go through the reincarnation cycle. These issues will generally re emerge for you to have the opportunity. You will create them again to provide the opportunity for you to gain wisdom from that experience. And when you don't do it, so let's say you continually ignore an issue or you continually don't deal with an issue, it will show up with a louder attention, to get your attention the next time. It'll show up louder to get your attention the next time and the next time and the next time. And so by the time you have physical issues related to the trauma or the lack of an emotional aspect in your life where you would be feeling safe and secure and stable, this is where finally physical things start to take place. So this is probably an issue that is not new to this timeline, more than likely an issue that has repeated itself for her for more than one timeline, and it's finally announcing itself and giving her the opportunity to create security, stability, self-love, self-love, joy, and awareness for herself, Master, because she's actually the one that is responsible for making herself feel loved, for making herself feel secure and safe. So that's generally what is taking place.
Excellent. So much. Let's go to the next question by Sony Dean. Hi, Sony. Nice to have you here. And the question is, Julius, I'm curious why B. Macron slapped her husband, we're talking about the president of France, when they arrived in Vietnam last week. Thank you.
I'm curious about B. Macron's slapping her husband when they arrived in Vietnam next week. So we're not sure what you're asking us. Okay, so we're not sure what you're asking us. What we can tell you is everything's staged. Everything's staged. It's no different than anything else that you see televised that is some ridiculous drama playing itself out. Most everything is some kind of a distraction, some type of an attention getter for some reason. That's what we will tell you. And so just keep in mind, Masters, that pretty much everything that you are watching is some form of disclosure at this point. Okay. At this point, everything has taken place behind the curtain and it's long been taken care of. And now is just this game of disclosure and things unrolling and unraveling themselves. And this is taking place everywhere. It's kind of a joined collaboration around the globe. Okay. So try not to get yourself caught up in it. Who cares? Seriously, how does it affect your life? How does it affect your conscious journey? Is it, why are you distracted by it? Okay, let's pull yourself back in, Master, to the things in your life for your acceleration, your expansion, your knowing that you are love, your knowing that you are source and the practice of it. That's what we will tell you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And next question comes from Tommy. I have a friend whose puppy died of parvo.
Mm.
Where did this virus come from? And is it necessary to have a puppy vaxxed for it, or is there another solution?
So we are not a supporter of those things for any type of a sentient being. They've manufactured viruses, and of course they disperse them. So your veterinarian will generally tell you that the parvovirus is spread with bird poop, and things like that. So it's very easy to pick it up when the puppy's walking around on the ground and rubbing their snout, in the ground and eating things and licking things. And that is the truth. That is definitely how you can pick up a virus. But we are going to support that it is our observation and our opinion that all of those vaccinations do no good. In fact, just like any other type of vaccination, a lot of times it's just giving the animal that virus more than anything. Same thing with the vaccinations for humans. Again, this is what we see, this is what we have experienced, and this is what we perceive and feel. Um, Immune systems are the key to health, wellness, and longevity. And that runs from every type of species that exists here on the Earthship. If your puppy is picking up viruses, it has a compromised immune system. That is the truth. How that became compromised is can be many answers to that, but immediately upon the arrival of a puppy or any young animal into your house, you should be doing your research on how to provide support for their immune system. That's what you should be doing. That's Everybody should be doing that. So that's obviously through nutrition, that can be through proper supplementation, and that's going to be the defense for viruses is the immune system. Okay. It is a horrible virus. Most animals don't survive it because it causes such extreme dehydration through vomiting and diarrhea, uncontrolled vomiting and diarrhea. And usually, a small animal will dehydrate and die before you can take care of it. They usually have to be hooked up to IVs in a veterinarian's office to push their way through that virus. Of course, isn't that convenient for them to charge you a ridiculous and absorbent amount of money? So then you generally will have the animal put down, and you get to carry that trauma and that burden. So it's not good. It's not good. Can they push their way through the virus? They can. It's usually extremely costly, but to everybody out there, there is great information out there on nutrition for animals. And it doesn't have to be super expensive, but everything should be supporting the immune system. When puppies pick up parvo, they generally were pulled from their mother too early, and they weren't able to get their immune system built up, from feeding off of their mother, which is common in the breeding business.
Excellent. Excuse me. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next question. By the way, Ursula was saying were my dogs that were vaccinated fully for parvo got parvo. My dogs not vaccinated did not get parvo. I have had and have many dogs. Thank you, Ursula, for obviously sharing that. And let me actually stop a little bit the questions that we typically have from our audience because we have this incredible QR code on the top right side of our corner of our window, and every single week we have these QR codes ready for you to do the special sessions and workshops that we have ready for you. And this week is not an exception. It says on the QR code, it says others perspective, others perspective. What does that mean? Let me tell you. So the special for this week is called How Others Perspectives Play Off One Another. We're going to really take again how each other's perspectives replay of one. Julius will do a deep dive into how others' energies influence your perspective. What would you like to add to that? How many sessions are we talking, and how and when are they going to happen?
Yeah, it's a two-part class. These conversations are so relevant to your life, okay? Julius approaches your conscious journey from a very practical outlet, okay? Because they've been human, they know that every situation, every circumstance can either provide you the opportunity to expand your consciousness or contract your consciousness. And as you are having a human life, you are interacting with all kinds of energy frequencies, and we have a tendency to be blind to what those energy frequencies are doing to us or for us. And because humans are generally walking around pretty unconscious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling, energies can be extremely coercive and manipulative for your perspective. And your perspective is everything on your conscious journey. So, Julius is going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about mindfulness, how to hold your own thoughts and perspectives for your own self so that you're constantly supporting your expansive journey, but also how they get you manipulated into likened thought of limitation and fear and prejudice and judgment for each other. And it's really going to bring also into question the company that you keep. The company that you keep. Who are you hanging out with? Who are you interacting with? Who are you having conversation with? Where is your perspective coming from? Has anybody actually even sat and thought, why do I think the way that I think? Why do I have this opinion? Why do I have this judgment? Most of the time, it's not even from your own experience that you have judgment on something. It's usually just from somebody else has said, or something that you've watched, or something that you've heard of. It can be more influential, other people's opinions, to hold you and bind you back than even your own. So this is going to be an amazing class. It's going to be a hard punch class. We call them the rapid fire classes, the two-part classes. Julius is going to do a deep dive on this topic, and then you're going to have the opportunity, of course, to interact with your questions and make it yours. And so it's always a great time, and we invite everybody in to this class.
Exactly, and please make sure that you scan this QR code. It's going to be a two-part of the live online workshop, as Kasey was saying, and it's going to be on June 3rd and 4th. June 3rd and 4th, upcoming June 3rd and 4th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the US. The workshop is live on Zoom, and the replay in video and audio are available after each module. The first module is a teaching, sharing from Julius on the topic, and the second module is an interactive Q&A. As Kasey just said, Julius will do a deep dive into how others' energies influence your perspectives, and how energies of other limitations can kill creativity and compassion. Just a summary of what you just said. Make sure that you scan the QR code, you go to that page, and you sign up for it, because it's going to be amazing. As you know, every single time we have a session, someone has already participated, most of them, and they always share their experiences. And thank you for doing that. And please, QR code, I'm going to make it small, and it's going to go to the upper right corner of the screen. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for, as usual, asking questions, because we have plenty of questions already here, ready to be asked and ready to be answered. Let me go to the first one. All right. It comes from Greg Nyman Jr. Greg, great to have you here as usual. Hi, Julius. I am feeling pretty stagnant on my conscious journey for the last couple of weeks. I have been moving my body more, eating way healthier, grounding more, and reminding myself that I'm sourced more frequently. How can I figure out what is holding me stagnate and begin to work on that?
Yeah. It may, master, not be that you are stagnant, but that you're shifting. Okay. So remember that during shift and change, you could just be making that transition for yourself. Just because you say you want to change something doesn't mean that change and shift is going to appear for you instantaneously. When you take in consideration what it takes to make a big shift in your life, It takes energy frequency to change and shift. And that just doesn't happen overnight for most of you. It's a practice, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, and it takes discipline to stick with something, Mostly it is requiring you to stick with changing your thoughts and your perspective and not retaliate back to feeling sad and depressed because something hasn't happened quick enough for you. So you may have just sabotaged your own progression by making the declaration of stagnation. The truth is, stagnation is an impossibility, Master. You are source. You are always moving. So move away from that untruth for yourself. It's just not true. It can't be true. You cannot hold still. You can't. Just because you are not aware of how you are shifting and changing does not mean that you are not shifting and changing. So perhaps dedicate yourself to broader and deeper awareness of yourself, of the energies around you, how you are feeling. Promise that things will catch up. They will catch up. But people just want instantaneous results when they decide that they want to have an experience, and we're just going to focus on this for a few minutes, and there should be this explosive progression. There has been massive shift and change for you over the last year, 2 years actually, huge, life changing shifts. Most people would strive a lifetime to acquire the shifts that you have in 2 years, and yet it is not satisfying for you. Perhaps you ought to look at yourself, Master, and stop judging your progression and find extreme joy in the release and magnificence of that which you are.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Greg. And let's go to the next question that comes from Adrienne. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for doing this show. Question: how do I naturally and safely heal my autistic son's central nervous system?
Sorry, Angel, your voice is just a little on the soft side. Can you repeat that question again
Of
for
course,
us?
absolutely. So, how do I naturally and safely heal my autistic son's central nervous system?
Yeah, yeah. So the nervous system is affected by toxins, stress, and anxiety. Okay. So there are three things, Master, three things that massively affect the pineal gland. The pineal gland is key for your nervous system. That's why they attack your pineal gland so much. So there are three things that are affect the pineal gland. One is aluminum, one is aluminum, one is the other is fluoride, and the other is Wi-Fi. That's why they've put Wi-Fi out so massively for everything. So everybody needs to cut back on the toxicity and the calcification and the killing of the pineal gland. So your autistic son, you need to be extremely mindful and keep him off of the devices. He's hypersensitive to energy around him. So for any of you who have a vax injured child that is now autistic, did we just say that? Yes, we did. Vax injured child that is autistic, they shouldn't be anywhere near electronic devices. Seriously. They are so overstimulated. You shouldn't even have a television in your house. You should not have a television in your house. That child shouldn't be around a computer. That child certainly shouldn't have a handheld device. It is killing his nervous system, keeping it in fight or flight mode. Seriously. And that's what we can tell you. If he's brushing his teeth with fluoride toothpaste, good holy heavens, is anybody still brushing their teeth with fluoride toothpaste? Really? Okay, get that out. And then we would recommend that you be extremely mindful as to what his intake is and the aluminum content. You can keep shungite around your room, around your houses. It'll help neutralize your Wi-Fi frequencies. This is for everybody. But your son should have this in his room. Should be wearing it with a bracelet or a necklace. The more you can detoxify your beautiful child, the more that you can work on getting those horrible things out of his system, the calmer he will be, the more he will be able to calm down and not fixate so much. He will also be able to learn more consistently how to express love to the people that he loves very, very deeply, and also be able to get himself to receive love more openly. So the nervous system needs to be dealt with frequency. It needs to be dealt with diet. It needs to be dealt with mindful practices, master, calming practices. We would suggest that you see if you can get him drawing or painting or playing music. Drawing or painting or playing music, singing bowls, even drums, anything where he can turn some of his fixation into something that's going to be very soothing frequency wise for his nervous system.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question from Sony Dean. Julius, is aging automatic? If so, how can we how can we reverse or stop this deterioration process? Can love filled body age? Thank you.
It's automatic for those who have fear based thoughts. Yes, it's an erosion, physical erosion that takes place through low frequency. So, yes, it's natural for those living in low frequency. Is your body designed to automatically age only? No, not at all. Your body is frequency, and it is frequency actualized and demonstrated. If you are a high frequency being, you will not only stop aging, but you will start to reverse age for yourself. If you are a low frequency being, then your body is going to erode and decay. So your conscious journey is the indicator of that, the governor of that. So is, of course, the situation physically that you have placed your body into, as far as poisons and toxicities and environmental conditions, whether they're low frequency or high frequency. They're either going to support the rejuvenation process of your body on a cellular level or the erosion process of your body on a cellular level. Your body is designed to rejuvenate itself consistently and constantly when it's in a high vibrational state. In fact, you are not actually ever supposed to decay off and die and erode your physical body, meaning that your body has the capability of living thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, as it continually rejuvenates itself if you remain in a high frequency state. And in that state, you can ascend yourself off and return anytime you choose through your thoughts. But it is your own low frequency. But don't take that personally, Master. You're not doing anything differently than anybody else is. Everybody's thoughts have been very controlled, very manipulated, and very programmed to live in fear and judgment of themselves. And of course, because of the evidential proof all around you, you've come to accept that it's true, that you age, and you shall become everything that you know. So, our answer to you is yes, it's a natural process when you are in low frequency.
All right. Thank you so much. And the next question comes from Love Light Lauren. Old, beautiful buildings and temples that were created prior to 1800 did not have toilets. Is that because area, in that time area, people did not need them because they were fueled by light and sound?
No, that's not what we support completely as a truth. So there is no time, Master. You don't have history. You don't have history. Your history books are wrong. Things are not historical for you, they are concurrent. So time is an illusion, all right? So those civilizations and the building constructs are not in your past. They are in a state of concurrency. They are in a state of concurrency. In the time of now that they are constructed, they just changed architecture and things like that. Temples and church buildings and many of the extraordinary structures and buildings were sound frequency healing facilities. That is a truth. They were also primarily teletransportation buildings. So people didn't hang out there very long. That's what we will tell you.
All right, thank you so much. And the next question comes from Hilda B. Trump's US dollar is overvalued and says it hurts exports and trade deficit. Are there plans to devalue the US dollar and Canadian dollars? If yes, what are the pros and the cons?
Well, first of all, we will tell you that your dollar has no value whatsoever at this point. It's about to have value. It's about to be gold backed with authentic value. It's fiat at this point. It has zero value. It's a complete con. So the whole trade system has been nefarious, and it has supported a very malignant and malicious controlling element. Um, the US currency came off the gold system back during the Nixon administration, and it started to create, massive, massive, massive devaluing of the American dollar, devaluing. And there's of course so much that's gone on with currency and commodity around the globe, and a lot of you are getting exposed to some of what has taken place. You're not going to have to worry about your Canadian dollar, and you're not going to have to worry about your American dollar. Everything is going to go parallel on the market, and everything will be commodity based. All is well, master.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much. And this is chapter again, excuse me, episode number 107. And we made a very important announcement, which is we are rebranding. We are changing our name, but we keep on having the same mission. We're going to be calling ourselves the Awakeness Network. And please make sure that you start looking at your, Facebook accounts and at your YouTube accounts because we actually already have created a few of those new accounts for the new brand, and we would not like you to miss our shows in the future. So make sure that, you go there, you sign up, you subscribe so that you will not miss any of our shows. You can already go to the YouTube channel called Awakening Network. Actually, there's people already watching us from the Awakening Network, and we're gonna be opening it also very very soon on Facebook. Okay, so just make sure that you look for them, you sign up for them, you like them, you follow them, so you are notified every time we go live. Okay, so that's really 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 important. And let's go to the next question that comes from.
Angel, I also want to
Yeah, go
say
ahead.
something. Also, so Facebook has changed their policy, and they will be deleting videos off of the Facebook platform. I think after just 30 days, somewhere between 30 and 60 days. So, to catch shows that we've done, you're going to have to look somewhere other than Facebook, okay? Because we're, like you said, we're on YouTube, we're on some of these other platforms. So we don't want everybody to panic on that, but I guess it probably has to do with storage capacity and things of that nature. If you have questions about that, send that into support to Sue. And so there's just lots of changes that are always taking place. We don't want anybody to get panicked or anything. But if you have questions, go ahead and send it into support for us.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let's go to the next question that comes from Ursula Baker. That's her question. My neighbor ran over my dog and killed her. He could have stopped and waited until I ran to the lane. He saw me and my daughter running to the lane and he kept going, which led Elsa to the road. My daughter and I had to sprint to the gate at the road. He could have stopped and helped us and chose not to. He ran over her going at a slow speed. He felt it and saw us running after him and he left and didn't say anything. Do I work to buy his property out or is this a sign to move?
That's up to you to decide, Master. That's up to you to decide. Okay. So you create your own signs and movement for yourself. Okay. It is our observation that there seems to be a lot of fear and angry energy there, especially from his side. And you would really wonder why you would choose to stay in that energy. Having said that, you certainly can change the energy if you decide that you really love this place and that it suits your needs and that it works very well for you. You can shift that energy. You certainly can. It just depends on how much work you want to put into doing that. Remember that you are source master, you are source. Okay. What you should be doing is taking a deep dive into yourself. Okay. Are you creating change in your life? Are you wanting movement? Are you wanting to stay the same? Include the conversation, with others that this would be of concern. So um, it means that it's an indication of extreme negative and angry energy there. That's what that means. Okay. Do you want that energy? Do you want to take on the responsibility of working to change and shift that energy? That's the question that you would be asking yourself. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. And next question comes from Christina Goebel. Hi all, you suggested metal and I added parasite detox. I have 3 days left and my children just started. How will I know if we are detox or do we need a second round? Excuse me. Thank you.
That's a great question. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Okay. Um, you're probably feeling a little wiped out after a detox. There's no question about that. But your mental clarity should be stronger. Your body should be feeling resilient, highly energized. How is your system working? How's your digestive system working? Okay. How's your hearing? How's the taste in your mouth? Okay. How are your muscles feeling? How has the reduction of inflammation worked on your body? Okay, so those are indications that you are cleaner and freer. Okay, now that you have detoxed, a really great and simple way of detoxing is fasting. Fasting is a wonderful detox, a wonderful detox. Okay, and you can look into information on that if you want to talk to experts on that, for continued use, so you don't have to go through an elongated metal detox system. Fasting is a wonderful, wonderful way. So your body, when it goes into uh, autophagy, it detoxes itself. Okay, so when your body is constantly digesting things, so when you're constantly feeding yourself food, like every 4 hours, your body doesn't have the opportunity to detox. It's constantly using energy to digest food. Okay. When it's not digesting food, it will detox and burn fat. Okay. And so fasting is a fantastic way for you to detox your body. Now, if you think it's heavily toxified, you can do a 3 to 7 day fast, and that will really get rid of wonderful, wonderful toxins and metals and parasites and things like that in your body. But a wonderful maintenance system for continual detoxification is intermittent fasting, so that you're giving your body a period of time to detox itself on a regular basis. So, looking into the information for intermittent fasting, most people now that are practicing health and wellness practices are just automatically doing intermittent fasting. Okay, so intermittent fasting is a minimum of 12 hours of not eating, and then a lot of people can go 14, 16, 18 hours, sometimes 20 to 24 hours if they want to do a 24-hour intermittent fasting occasionally. But in that time period, it gives your body the opportunity to cleanse itself, detoxify itself, and burn fat. So, Angel, we know you do intermittent fasting. on a regular basis? How many hours do you normally do for intermittent fasting for yourself?
Well, that's a great question. I actually try to push my boundaries all the time. So I started doing literally like skipping my first, I would say, 12 to 16 hours of the day every single day. And then I moved to 24, then to 48, and my record is over 118 hours of, of fasting. So I would recommend everybody to start slow and to start doing, 8, 12, 16, 24, and then, keep on moving. It might seem, I mean, it might seem like really, really difficult, but it's a matter of just starting, and then you will realize that there's really power in doing that. So thank you
Yeah.
for asking, Casey.
Yeah, yeah. We actually literally don't even recommend that no that anybody should eat before noon. Um, Depending on, so keep in mind everybody for intermittent fasting, that includes your sleep time. That includes your sleep time. Okay. So most people will stop eating, let's say 6 p.m. at night, and then not eat again until 10 in the morning or even noon. And you're at 16 to 18 hours at that point, and just getting used to that. So make sure, if you're going to start, it's the end period for the last meal of the day, and then when you're going to pick up eating the next day. So that includes your sleep time. It includes your sleep time. But so many people are late night eaters. They're late night eaters because of stress and anxiety, and your nervous system is taxed. And then the first thing they eat in the morning is some type of sugar, some type of sugar induced uh, intake. Okay. And keep in mind that milk has sugar in it. Okay. So if you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker in the morning, and you're using dairy in your milk, tea, or coffee, you've got sugar intake going on first thing in the morning. So the key is you want no sugar, no sugar, but before at least 10 to 12, because that's going to totally screw up your insulin. And so the whole purpose behind intermittent fasting is to help regulate your insulin.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. The next question is actually from Dailene. What's really going on in Area 51 in Nevada?
Oh, all the experimentation for off-planet beings, interdimensional transportation. They've captured all of the spaceships and intergalactic ships there. They train pilots from humans there to try to fly these crafts. The problem is that these crafts cross time. They cross timelines, and the human body has a really difficult time with that. So they can't seem to master. They can't get the human pilots to be able to handle time travel in these apparatuses. But they've got all that going on. So it's a holding house. Of course it is for all of the what you could perceive to be off planet beings, alien beings. All experimentation. They've got labs there for hybriding. They've got access tunnels there for the inner Earth colonies. They've got insectoid colonies. They've got reptilian types of colonies, not the draconian reptilians, but they've got a far less nefarious colony of reptilians that live, a few layers down in your Earth, and there's access panels to them. So it's all of that, but there's a lot of that all over the Earth, all over the Earth. You guys ever driven out in these rural areas, right? Like you're going from one state to the next, wherever you're driving, and you're in this super rural area, right? And there's like this random bunker just sitting out somewhere. Like what the hell is that, right? Nothing's random. Nothing's random, okay? Especially if it's got like barbed wire around it, right? And some kind of a camera system. You're like, oh, that's an elevator shaft, okay? So Area 51 is, got it's an elevator shaft. You don't go into those buildings. You go in and you go down. So everything's an elevator shaft for inner Earth laboratories, tunnels, civilizations, and things like that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the last question of the show is going to be the one from Ashley. Thank you for being here, Ashley, as usual. My family of four just went through a bad gastro sickness. during which I lost the use of my legs for a few minutes. It was frightening, but felt familiar at the same time. Were we purging something more?
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So your family of four just went through a bad, um, gastro sickness, during which I lost the use of my legs for a few minutes. Wow. Interesting. So interesting. So we would say that your illness was probably affecting your nervous system, probably was affecting your nervous system. And so that's probably what you felt with your nerves when it came to the mobility of your legs and things like that. Um, with your family and with your body. Having said that, you can have a hard time with your physical body when your soul leaves the body and is stalled or paused for re-entry. It's called paralysis. Okay, so you can have physical sleeping type of paralysis anytime the soul enters and exits the body. It also could be an energetic residual effect of you literally having your legs cut off in another timeline. That can be happening because all of that is happening concurrently, and the timelines are being shuffled and manipulated. People can feel that. So recently, somebody that we know, he was going through a pain in his back, pain in his back. It literally felt like stabbing, like somebody was just stabbing him all the time, right? Couldn't get the chiropractor to explain anything. They'd done adjustments, blah, blah, blah. This was going on for months and months and months and months and months. Okay. And, we can look at that and say, okay, well, that's a residual effect of another timeline where, you're being backstabbed, you're being, sabotaged out on the battlefield and all of that. And all of that is true. It can actually also even be people nefariously sending, uh, negative energies at you and things of that of nature. But more than likely, you're doing that right now somewhere and you're catching that overflow of that experience because they're screwing around with the timelines. So when you perceive that, oh, I had that happen in a past life, we're like, no, you didn't. It's going on right now, right now. It's just that you're normally have an energetic aspect of kind of a disconnection, so you aren't feeling that here in this timeline. Well, when they start shuffling the timelines and they start rolling the timelines, so they have this device, the Hedron Collider rolls timelines like this. Okay, it rolls timelines, and then they start to go backwards, just like, and then it starts to oscillate. So when they roll timelines, they can literally, just like waves coming off of an ocean, you can be hit and hit, hit, hit over and over and over by an experience. Okay.
So much, and that was the last question of the show. I see that there's a few. If you don't mind, more like, unfortunately, we couldn't answer today. You were so kind to send them to support at channelingjulius.com. Support at channelingjulius.com. We would really appreciate you. The reason is that typically we're able to copy those from the screen to our, spreadsheet, but today, unfortunately, we cannot do that. That's one thing. The second thing, make sure that you scan this QR code before the show is over. You will be able to access this 2-day workshop that's starting on the 4th. Okay. And we want you to be there because you will have an experience out of the ordinary completely. And again, thank you so much to everybody for being here with us today. And let me make myself large again. Okay. Here I am. And, we had some challenges today from time zone to health and technical issue here, but we're still here, and we really appreciate you showing up. And as you know, please make sure that you follow us on social media because we're going to open different new accounts from the
Yeah.
new or for the new branding, the new name of our network, which is, and actually some people are already watching us today from that network, with that account, Awakening Network is the name of our network. Moving forward, and we will be updating every single media element out there that we have had so far on Expansion Network. Okay, so again, thank you so much. We love you, Casey. Any final comments?
Yes, if I may have a couple of final comments. First thing I want to remind everybody is please, please sign up as a subscriber on our Facebook channel, which is Channeling Julius Through Kasey. Channeling Julius Through Kasey, Kasey. Please sign up. I'm always on there doing videos. You're going to catch me on there sometimes throwing energy at you, giving you inspiration. Sometimes I take you on my run or my bike with me in the morning. We've got some great things on that Facebook page. Please subscribe to that. We will be closing down the old Expand with Julius and Channeling Julius page. We're converted over to Channeling Julius Through Kasey. Please connect with me. I love to connect with everybody. Again, I'm on there several times a week, usually with fun little videos. But I also want to do this, Angel, if I may, with your permission, with your gracious permission, I want to just spend a moment. I'd like to get everybody that is watching right now. I want you to take your hands and I want you to just roll them, just rub them like this, kind of like you're washing hands really quickly. So let's charge up your energy. Nice. All right, here we go. And now I want you to hold your hands on your heart. We are sending you love. Please feel it. We are sending you healing. We are sending you light. Angel, we are sending you love. We are sending your beautiful family love. We are sending everybody's beautiful family loved for all of your struggles, for all of your difficulties, for any of you who may be going through extreme difficulties. Please feel that. Feel that connectedness, a little bit of unity, consciousness, energy for everyone. Deep breath in, inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week or maybe tomorrow for the class.
Absolutely. Maybe tomorrow for the class again. Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for your love and light. See you next weekend on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, U.S. Love you. Bye bye.